Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Strictly Healthy. I'm pleased that you could join us. If you're joining live, great. If you're joining on catch up, please do leave a message. Either way, leave a message because we would love to hear from you and love to hear what you think of the content that we are putting out here today. Now, we are passionate about health. And today we're dealing with a topic that many find interesting and confusing sometimes and just want to get the answers and get down to it. Now, this is part 2 of a 4-part series that we're doing, debunking myths about various health items. The first one, I believe, was about fat. So if you hadn't catch that one, please do look it up on YouTube. The second one we're dealing with today is glutathione. So myths about glutathione. And we have Patricia Bowerman joining us today. She is a wellness advocate. Hi, Patricia. Thank you for joining us. And you're going to share a few tips and myths and clear up a few things about glutathione. First of all, what is it? Why do we need to know about it, etc.? So thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Linda, for having me back. So I'm excited about glutathione. I could talk for hours about it.
Yeah. So really, what we want to find out is there a way to stay healthy and prevent disease? How does glutathione play into that?
Great question. And I say, I believe so. I believe so. Our bodies are regenerative after all. Our bodies are designed to heal. And, so what I'm going to introduce you to tonight is a vital mechanism that works in our favor. It's the mother of all antioxidants. It's the master detoxifier, the maestro of our immune system. Our bodies rely on it to defend us against all manner of invaders, be they bad bacteria, viruses, cancer cells. It's a long, long list, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But it not only defends, but it also repairs our damaged cells. So our hero, our superhero, is glutathione.
Antioxidant master regulator. Now, many people today are into doing their own, DIY healthcare and trying to get the answers for themselves. So we're hearing a lot about glutathione recently and lately. So can you fill us in a little bit more about this antioxidant?
Well, I have a question for your listeners. Has anyone ever told you that your body makes glutathione? When you've gone to your doctor with an illness or maybe some aches and pains, did they measure your glutathione level? Well, I think probably not. And I sort of wonder why that is. So we're going to explore a little bit more. But first, we're going to go back. We're going to go back in time. With the advent of free radical biology that began in the late 60s with the discovery of an enzyme in our bodies that gobbles up free radicals. It was a new frontier of health science, or sort of a rebirth of natural remedies that had been around since the dawn of man. So with biologists utilizing pathways in our body to heal and repair, rather than blocking with pharmaceutical drugs, a foundation for health was emerging. So that this pathway boosted glutathione and its role in defeating free radicals. But the bad news is, a little bit of bad news, toxins in our environment, poor diet, which we all have, me, you, it's unavoidable today, but we also have pollutants, medications, toxins, stress, trauma, radiation, all manner of things that are depleting our body's natural levels of glutathione. Well, we're actually subjected to more toxins today than the world has ever known before. And this leaves us susceptible to unrestrained cell disintegration from oxidative stress and free radicals. And this causes infections, cancer, the list of illnesses is very long. so that our liver gets overloaded and damaged, so it can't do its job of detoxification, creating a vicious cycle feeding on itself.
Okay, so it begs the question then, how do we know that our glutathione levels are low? How can we determine that? How would we find out?
Well, some good indicators are fatigue, just fatigue, infections, and then, of course, having a diagnosis of a disease.
Okay. So what can we do then? I guess the simple answer would be to try and reduce or make more, rather, make more glutathione. That's probably the best thing. Reduce the free radicals.
Well, that's right. You know, the glutathione does take on those free radicals for us. So there are three main ways to boost our glutathione. One is intravenously. That's quickly effective, but you would have to have access to the intravenous transmission. It's also very expensive and short-lived. So you're having to constantly get those IV administrations.
Okay.
Then we have supplementation and activation. So let's look at supplementation. So glutathione supplements have been available in health food shops for many years, but glutathione as a synthetic supplement is difficult to metabolize. One reason being the molecule is quite large, so you can't fully absorb it, properly metabolize it. More recently, NAC has gotten a lot of attention because it's threatened to be pulled from the shops. And we remember in recent last couple of years, ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine were being pulled from made available to us. So now I think some of you are saying, well, if they're going to take NAC away, it must be good for something. But NAC is only a precursor to glutathione. So if you all have, very low levels, how much is it going to help? Well, sort of 10 to 40% increase is sort of the range. But then let's look at activation. So anything our body makes is got to be better than a synthetic supplementation, but boosting our body's production of glutathione is possible with food. But you have to think, well, is this food sprayed with pesticides? Just consider you're eating food that's been sprayed with pesticides, which actually, sprayed with free radicals, really. You're consuming more free radicals than the tiny amount of antioxidant activity in that food. So you're really contributing to the problem more than you're helping the problem.
Yeah, not good.
But boosting our body's production of glutathione by a means of cellular activation. So it's really just triggering a pathway that's been sort of damaged over time. Now you're reinvigorating it. And so that's boosting your the enzymes that make glutathione to be produced. So cysteine is one of the key amino acids to make glutathione, and it gets into the cell and upregulates our glutathione synthase. So glutathione synthase in our cells. Now, what limits the amount of glutathione the cells can make is a protein called Xc-. It's a turnstile protein. It lets cysteine in, but only if glutamate is available.
Okay.
So these compounds must work together. So to sort of simplify it, cysteine plus Xc- plus glutamate equals glutathione production. Now this boosts your body's production of glutathione by 300 to 400%. Plus, it's catalytic. It's every second of the day and night, 24/7. So that's why it's such a powerhouse. So if you think of this activation like a thermostat in every cell in your body, you can't get that through supplementation. And in summary, so supplementation is like one molecule of antioxidant destroys one molecule of the free radical. whereas the activation actually gets rid of 1 million free radicals for every molecule of antioxidant. And
Wow.
all of us normal non-athletic people are bombarded by 300 septillion free radicals every day. So you need a huge amount.
Right. Well, this is all very interesting. And a lot of the information, it may be hard to comprehend at first, so we can break that down at a future time. So what I would like to know, though, what's in it for me? How can I actually benefit from this?
Well, knowing what glutathione does, I think, it speaks for itself. It's quite a long list of benefits, but just to recap a few that I think would resonate with your listeners. One is it repairs your caps. You might have heard of telomeres. Telomeres are found at the end of our chromosomes.
Okay.
So if that cap is damaged, our DNA can unravel. So it
Mm,
protects that. I already said it's our master antioxidant in each cell, but it's our master anti-inflammatory agent in each cell. It's our primary detoxifier of heavy metals, which is very important now. It's a chelator to get rid of mercury. It detoxifies our liver. How many illnesses can be greatly helped just by helping the liver? It takes on everything. But it's also a major protector of our mitochondrial DNA. Now, we all know our cells each have a DNA, but
yes.
inside that cell is also thousands of mitochondria. Each of those mitochondria have their own DNA. Now,
Mm,
mitochondria, if your listeners aren't familiar, they're like our energy generators. And they die off with age, they get damaged. So if you're depleted in energy, it could be a lack of mitochondria. And think of them as batteries, and so for you to feel like, energized and running around and all that, but our body needs that energy to do its daily functions as
mhm.
well. And then glutathione is also the protector of our immune system, our cardiovascular system enhancer. It protects against chemicals and toxins. And it's such a generous little molecule. It helps recycle vitamins like C and E and make them much more efficient. So it's such a good all rounder. Um, but the benefits that you can experience with increased glutathione are increased energy, slow down the aging process.
Mhm. That's
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, because it's the aging process that's linked to disease. Reduce muscle and joint discomfort, strengthen our immune system,
Great.
improve improve mental focus and clarity. I love that one.
I do too.
And improve sleep quality.
Mm, that's
Now,
good to
reduce the effects of stress and improve athletic performance. Now, this might help you visually understand it. Uh, I've got this little chart here. So these are conditions associated with low glutathione. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to hold it right. There we go.
Yeah, no,
Um,
well, it's too small, really, but yeah.
but they're neurological. Hold it right. Neurological issues like Alzheimer's, autism, uh, depression, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and immune issues. Look at all cancer issues, um, arthritis, Lyme's disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, heavy metals. So, it's a long list of known issues. And then we have the benefits as well. So when I
That's
was, I'm 70 now. When I was growing up, uh, no one had heard of autism. It was never talked about. And now 1 in 9 children are going to be diagnosed with autism. And cancer wasn't even mentioned when I was a kid. And now it's off the charts. 1 in 2 of us will be diagnosed. Um, heart attacks were the biggest fears when I was a kid, and now we're all dying of degenerative diseases instead of natural causes.
Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting. Excellent. And I'm sure people will have loads of questions and want to learn a little bit more and understand a little bit more and possibly get that a copy of that PDF that you were holding up.
Oh yes.
So, but just to summarize, I think that's probably a little bit of a summary we need to do, and that is one. Glutathione is our body's antioxidant master regulator, if I've got that right. And people are trying their best to do different DIY efforts, buying it in the shops, etc., trying to see if they can fix themselves. But we realize that supplementation, from what you've just said, doesn't work, right? Um, but so if people, and oh, the third thing is that if we want to boost levels, or if we do boost levels of glutathione, it will decrease our risk of related disease. Is that more or less what you were saying? But
Yes,
obviously,
yes, absolutely. Yes.
yes,
There's a
excellent.
lot we can do for prevention, but it's not too late to correct some issues.
Excellent, good. So I'm sure people will want more information. And so you can get in touch with myself and I will help get the answers to you, or Patricia. You can also perhaps go back to that person that invited you on this call today, because we sent out loads of invites. So hopefully we can field some of the questions that you might have. Now, as I mentioned, this is a second part of a 4-part series. So next time we will be debunking myths about bread. So that will be also very interesting, I'm sure. And then the follow-up to that one will be debunking myths about gut issues. So hopefully you can join us then. Thank you for joining us now and watching us on Catch Up. And of course, you can follow on Strictly Healthy, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So thank you again for joining us. And thank you for Patricia for your information and your expertise. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.